Reps are red, Dems are blue, a little Posy from the zoo. This story by Sandra Scott, Newsblaze reporter. While the pundits debate which side, the House or the Senate, will cave in to the demands of the other, the government shutdown continues. Meanwhile, some 800,000 federal employees languish at home, playing video games and tweeting their friends, which they usually do at the office, as they wait for their call to return to work. I, on the other hand, also unemployed, have been reading. A Government Watch report in AMAC Advantage, the Association of Mature American Citizens magazine, adds some perspective to this whole government furlough fiasco. According to the report, some chump change, that's you, the chump, and the change, tax dollars, of $1 million was given to zoos in Chicago, wouldn't you just know it, Little Rock, Milwaukee, and New Orleans, for poetry to help raise awareness on environmental issues. Next thing I knew, I was crooning the words, "It's all happening at the zoo," from the 1967 hit by Simon and Garfunkel. Soon, calling on my experience as a reporter, I decided to check out the opinions of the residents of the local menagerie. Seems they don't think much of these monkey shines either. I began my survey at the top with His Majesty the King. Herewith, my report. Said the noble lion with a roar, "What do we need poetry for? Just another DC prank. That's got this country in the tank." For more details I checked the news. Same old story, taxpayers lose. A cranky turtle snapped, "A scam! More bogus government flim-flam." Said a deer, "A lot of dough, $1 million." A bat replied, "I think it sucks." Snarled the scrappy wolverine, "It's part of all that cult of green." "Yes, the eco-freaks and more," hissed the adder, keeping score. Stealing up, all boldly masked, with furtive looks a raccoon asked, "How can they squander all that cash? Who thinks up all this balderdash?" "Please," I said, "don't be offended, but no disrespect intended." Short-sighted rhinos, obtuse jackasses, add it to bills that Congress passes. Special interests, lobbyists, badger them for wanton gifts. The baboon raged, his cheeks all red. "Wait, Congress? That's what you said? The group name for my family. The insolence, the mockery. The whole thing reeks," an old skunk fumed, and then yours truly, gasp, resumed. "The polls hand out entitlements, thus bribing their constituents, buying votes to keep their jobs, appeasing dupes, low-info mobs. Pork barrel spending, don't you know?" A warthog snorts. "Effective, though." "It's called," he grunted, waddling off, "feeding at the public trough." The hyena jeered, "It is to laugh, 800K of surplus staff, and paid to pay for rhyming words. This stuff is really for the birds." At that the aviary called foul. Then came this from the wise old owl: "The bureaucrats don't give a hoot when spending other people's loot." Still, I really have to wonder why they're allowed this legal plunder. There came a motion for a bill to throw those buzzards off the hill. "I second," said the cockatoo. "What about the rest of you?" Immediately the entire flock formed a massive voting block. The secretary bird went bonkers, logging votes from pipits to honkers. The measure passed throughout the zoo, and all the beasts approved it too. Those votes came to a tidy sum, and they say animals are dumb. If people are just half as smart, they'll take the critter's course to heart. If the DC crowd won't pay attention, throw 'em out come next election. Want your hard-earned funds respected? Get some honest folks elected. Well, that's the story. I've had my say. Time to file it. Oh, by the way, you'll note I wrote it all in rhyme. The cost to you, not one thin dime. Reps are red, Dems are blue, a little Posy from the zoo. By Sandra Scott, writing at newsblaze.com.